Yeah.
Screenshot the error.
Okay, I'll just check it. So getting that exception, right? Have you tried that self.py?
No. Since I used pi as a static method, static variable, so I didn't try. I will try it now.
Okay. So what we have here is a circle. So you have to give input. Yeah, enter the radius 4 I'm giving. Let's do one thing. Self.py. Self.py. Okay. Save this thing and then. Yeah, same thing. It's non-int of type float, it's saying. Have you tried this conversion thing, anything?
Yeah, that also not worked.
No.
Only it was working by giving a float of self.r.
Did you try to give the float input? Then it worked, right?
Float of self dot. I gave that. That was one.
Yeah, a type of input also you can give it as float, right?
Yeah, for H, yeah, H also. Yeah.
Like for H also, if I give it as float of
Yeah. Only in that case it is worked. I don't know why. What is the reason?
area of cylinder is 51.3. But normally, if you are giving without the class and object, it's working, right?
Yes, yes. Yeah, yesterday I was seeing that it was working.
Okay, I'll check it out once
Okay.
and let you know. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Like others have done the programs, inheritance, is it clear?
Yeah, Rohit. It's clear.
Right. Next, after inheritance, what do you have to do? What concept we have? We can say
Polymer.
polymorphism. What is polymorphism means? Poly means many. Actually, polymorphism is two Greek words, combination of two Greek words. Poly means many, morphism means forms by states or properties. All this comes under as a like polymorphism. Okay. Now, what this polymorphism is classified into? One is method overloading. Second is method overriding. Okay. And here slight difference is there from other languages, how the method overloading works. Let's see an example. And which scenario we need this method overloading. Like consider an example. We have written for the restaurant. I have written for the restaurant a class restaurant, and I have defined a take order, right? So at the time of order, we might take order 1 or order 2, right? So I can print what order given is. Order 1, order 2. But the thing is, in a restaurant, only 2 orders are available, or you can give single order, multiple orders. It's up to the customer requirement, right?
Yes.
So what we have to do, we need to change something. Like I want to give the take order self order 1. That's it. Only one order or the 2 orders. Okay. Like order given is order 1. And I can say KFC equals to restaurant KFC dot take order and just say 1 and 2. Say this thing as Python programs batch 1. What I can say, this is known as overloading.py. That's an overloading example. You can say py space overloading.py. The order given is 1 and 2, right? So it's working fine. Suppose if I want to give KFC dot take order 1. What it's saying? Take order missing 1 required positional arguments, order 2. Right? So here there is a problem. Like if you write that same method again, even though you are passing 1 parameter, it's not able to differentiate the things. Okay? So how to write this overloading concept in Python? Same thing we write, just def take order, that order will be same, like self, I can take 1 or 2 or 3, order 1, but I'll say whether order 1 is equal to none or not. None means what? Nothing. None is a particular keyword in Python which indicates nothing. So if nothing is there, it's empty. So order 2 is none. Order 3, I've just taken this part. Okay? Equals to none, I can say. So what I have to write now? If order 1 not equals to none and order 2 not equals to none and order 3 not equals to none, I have to print order given is order 1 comma order 2 comma order 3. And after that, if we have a particular thing known as elif also, right? So what is elif? We can say elif, based on that you can write a condition again, like order 1 not equals to none and order 2 not equals to none. Then what I can print, order given is order 1 comma order 2. First I'm passing that none if it's not there, if the value is not coming from this particular take order. Okay? And if it is not none, then if it satisfies the condition, then it will execute that like print statement, you can say. So elif is there. Again, elif we can access, say order 1 not equals to none. What I can do, I just want to print that value, that you can say order given is order 1. But save this thing. I forgot the colon. So it's giving for 1. Now, if I give 2 parameters, 2, it's executing for 2. Let's try for the 3 thing. It's coming for the 3 also. Right? So a customer can give 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, depends on his requirement. So we are not restricting it, right? We have written a code which will work for all the orders, either single order, 2 order or 3 orders, or multiple orders you can take. Correct?
For multiple orders, we have to add more lines, right, in the code.
Yes, yes, because without that we cannot do it, right? We need that particular
So
multiple.
we can give range also in the input parameter.
Like n number of order and that way.
No, no, no. Like that, we can't define it runtime, right? So range will work. We need to give that values. So each and every parameter I'm checking, right?
Mhm.
Each and every parameter, if it is none, don't go here. Again, elif. If both the things are null, don't go here. If only one thing is not equal to null, like one value is there, okay, come here. If two values are there, come here. Like that, we are redirecting it, right?
Actually, in Python, under the single class, we cannot have a duplicate methods like overloading, as you discussed. Have only one
Yes.
method.
Yes, but we are able to do it using the if else thing. But this requirement is there, right? If in real time, if you want to give multiple orders, then what do you do? You can't take order one, take order two, right? The method should be take order itself, but we need to have directly different parameters. For that, we can use the if else thing, right? Ladder, if ladder. Is it clear? So shall we continue?
Yeah.
Now, the next thing will be, what if you want to have a scenario where if you consider a car, the car has some cost, right? And it has some mileage, like terminology is there. And Audi is also there, which has some cost and mileage, right?
Yes.
And what I have, BMW, which has some cost and mileage also, you can say, right? So we have three classes. What type of inheritance we can say is?
Yeah.
Which type of inheritance is this?
It's a hierarchical. So
Yeah, hierarchical inheritance we can say, right?
yes.
And what's the cost of BMW? Some 50 lakhs, I can say. Mileage is 15 kilometers. Audi is what, some 40 lakhs, I can say. Mileage is some 20 kilometers. Now tell me, what's the cost of a car? If you go to a showroom, ask the manager, what is the cost of a car? What will be the next question?
He will ask what type of car.
Which brand?
Yeah.
Which brand?
Like the brand will have the cost, right?
Mhm.
If Audi is different, Ferrari is different, so we have different cars. So for based on the car, the brand, the value will be different, right?
Mhm.
So we don't have any cost for car and mileage, you can say, right? Is it clear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So right, next thing. Now what I want to do is I want to write a program for this. So let's say a class is there which contains car. So what is it? Car consists of cost, right? Print, no cost. First we have defined it. Next, the next thing will be mileage. no mileage, right? And after that we can write a class Audi which consists of the superclass car, right? And if I have to define, I have to write the cost for Audi. Print Audi cost is some 90 lakhs. Okay. So what concept we are seeing here actually, it's method overriding, right? So method overriding means what? Same name and same parameters. Everything must be same. Then we can say it as method overriding. If suppose, can I have a same class with the same methods again? Can I write it like that?
No. It's the same.
Can a machine understand that the two costs exist in a single class? Is it possible? Let's check this thing after completing the program. Before that, Audi mileage is what I can say. It's up to us 20 kilometers, whatever you want to give, you can give. And the class is there, BMW, which has a superclass as car. So we need to have the cost again. So print BMW cost is what I have, some 70 lakhs, you can see. BMW mileage is 15 kilometers, right? So now, how do we create the object? Like if I create the object for subclass, usually in inheritance for which class we create the object? Subclass, right?
Yes.
There are two
Subclass.
subclasses in object.
Yeah. So first for Audi, if I create and call a dot cost and a dot cost, what will happen? Which cost it will print?
First one.
Like car or cost? Which one? First one means what?
P by right. It's
For the car.
A dot cost means the Audi cost or the car cost?
Car cost.
What object is this? A.
Audi.
It's Audi.
It will print Audi cost.
It's an object of Audi, so it will give the preference to that class itself, right? First. Now, so what we need is an overriding thing. Like say, if x equals to 10, y equals to 20, is it overriding?
No.
No, it's not overriding. Can I say x equals to 10 and x equals to 20, is it overriding?
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
X equals to A, x equals to B, is it overriding?
Yes.
Right. So here, the cost is defined once and we are able to access it again inside the Audi, right? So what I want to do, I need to have a single reference which can store the car object, because single object like subclass object is not able to execute the car cost, right? It's not sufficient. I need again a reference, like a reference for x equals to car. Then the same x is storing the Audi. Then the same x is having the BMW, right? So what happens if we do like this? let's see this thing. Like I have a particular X car, and I want to print that X dot cost, X dot mileage. And the same X, I'm trying to store the Audi. So X dot cost, X dot mileage. But what about the car object then? What happens to the car? Let's do one thing. Print type of X. What type of X will give? Which type it is, right? It's a car, then it's an Audi. So X contains the Audi object. And if I write the same thing as BMW, just the object I'm changing, the remaining thing is same. So one is car object, it has been replaced with Audi, it has been replaced with BMW. That's it, right? So what's happening actually means, first we'll take X equals to car, right? So it generates a memory. And that memory name is what? X. X is pointing to that car, you can say. And if I say X dot cost, X dot mileage, what will happen? The no cost and no mileage will be there. Okay. So here, after executing that thing, after executing the methods, if the memory is there or not, we don't require, right? We have completed a task. Now the X is pointing to a car memory, it's done, right? Now, if I try to store X equals to BMW now, what will happen? Another memory is there, and that memory is being pointed by the same X. So is pointing to this particular memory X. And what is that memory name, you can say? It's nothing but BMW. So what happens about the car? The car is not pointed by anything, right? So we have a thing known as PVM in Python. What is PVM means? It's nothing but the Python virtual machine, you can say, which converts that code to the machine, and at the same time, technically it calls a method known as garbage collector, GC in Python. So every particular programming language like Java has GC, garbage collector. .NET has a GC, garbage collector. So what this garbage collector will do, it removes that particular memory which is not pointed by any particular reference. So X has now BMW. Next, X dot cost, X dot mileage. What will happen here? We'll have 50 lakhs and 15 kilometers. Then again, I'm storing X equals to Audi. So another memory will create, and that memory is pointed by X. And this memory is being removed by the garbage collector. So the memory management in Python is done by the garbage collector. Here X is pointing to the car Audi object. So what is the difference, you can say? Here overriding means one memory, like Audi memory is trying to override the car memory, right? And the same thing, Audi memory is trying to override that BMW memory. So one after the other, the memories are getting overridden. At the last, only one memory is there. Okay. So at an instance, only one memory is being accessed. So is this thing better? Or without that, if I try to create separate memories, like as we have seen, we can create Audi object, Audi A equals new Audi, sorry, Audi A equals to Audi, and A dot cost, A dot mileage. And if I have one more thing known as BMW, B equals to BMW, B dot cost, B dot mileage. This is a thing we used to do inside the particular inheritance, right? Two memories. One is car, one is Audi, one is BMW. Like Maruti is there, 800 is there, Fortuner, i10, i20. So a lot of things will be there, right? So if I use separate objects, I need to occupy several memory blocks. Whereas if I use that same reference to override the thing, if I'm using the same reference to override the thing, what happens? Only one memory is being used at a time. So which is better, one memory at a time or all the memories allocated separately?
One memory at a time.
One memory at a time, right?
Yes.
So this is overriding, you can say, the best example. Okay. Overriding is nothing but having that method also being overridden. Not only that, apart from that, the memory is also getting overridden, right?
Mm.
This memory is replacing that car. Previously, as in x equals 10, x equals 20. 20 is replacing 10. The same way BMW is replacing car. Memory. These are memory blocks, right?
Mhm.
That is the thing. Understood?
Understood.
Let's do one thing. I don't want to have a cost inside the Audi. I'll have speed. Okay. Same thing. I'll just call instead of cost a speed thing. Okay. So no cost, no mileage. That speed and mileage, cost and mileage are getting executed, right? So next, after this example, is it clear? The types also it's giving that particular class, respective class types, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
Now, after this, based on overriding, we have few other concepts also. Let's see what are those concepts. Suppose, consider I want to have, I'm writing a program where a class is there which contains a parent. So overriding concept is clear, right, everyone?
Mhm.
Yeah, clear.
Just it saves the memory, right? So what is a class? Parent is there and his age is 54, and the class child is there. Again, child also will have age, right?
Yeah.
So what is the child age? I'm saying 22. So and I want to display that values. Def that particular define the function details. I'm trying to print child age is what I can say self dot age, and print I have to print the parent age also, right?
Mm-hmm.
self dot age. So now in inheritance, for which class we create the object, parent class or child class?
Child.
So max equals to child. We didn't call the details, right? Now tell me what will be the output if I execute this method.
Mm,
22.
it will be 22
Yeah,
in both.
child.
In both it's 22. Let's see. Yes, 22. Why?
Dash like a self dot age and it's taking from child.
How come we can differentiate the parent and the child objects, right? See, I have a memory. I create a memory known as child. So this is a child memory. And inside the child, we have a parent memory, right? So who is pointing to the child memory?
Parent.
Self is also pointing to the child memory, right? Self represents the class object, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the reason when we are able to access self, inside the child, I have an age. What is that age? 22. So every time self is pointing to 22 itself, right? And the
Correct.
parent age is also there, which is nothing but 54, right?
Mm-hmm.
So who is pointing to this particular 54 then? Someone should point it, right?
Age, yeah. Age of child. What?
But who is pointing? We didn't got the output. How to get the output? We have a particular thing known as super. What is it? Super, which points to this particular parent memory. So how to differentiate this? I can directly use super. Save this thing and run. I got parent age is 54. How come it's printing 54 now? Because I'm not saying self, I'm saying super. So when I say super, the super has a particular variable age 54. Based on that, it's getting executed, right? Understood?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it clear? And when we require this? When the superclass variable and subclass variables are same. Let's suppose, let's say this is some x age, this is some y age.
Not that way.
X self dot y age and self dot x age. Okay. Save this thing and print. I got the correct output, right? No need to use the super. What is the reason then? Whenever the variables are same, then only the machine will get confused. So if I ask age equals age, it will think that you're asking for self means to the same variable. It doesn't think that there is another parent variable which is age. One time I have to print 22, one time I have to print 54. It can't understand that scenario, right? For that, to solve that problem, we are using the super thing. Is it clear?
Yeah, clear.
So at what scenario we have to use this thing? When parent class variable and child class variable are same, then we can use a particular thing known as what? Super. Okay,
Can we use the multiple times for the super, like if we have one more child?
Like a grandchild.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to ask. Yeah, if you have one more child,
If we have
let's do
it's a
this thing then.
multi-level, yeah, multi-level inheritance.
Grandchild is there. Self, and that age is 12. I'll take these things directly.
cannot
Grandchild is self or grandchild child.
parent or
Child.
Child.
So what I can do now, let's do one thing. Yeah, super dot age itself, and here also one super dot age, print grandchild ages self dot age, right? So if you print this thing,
We need to call, yeah,
it's
grandchild.
grandchild. So what's it's doing? 22, right? It's not taking the 54 thing.
It's going just one level up.
Yeah, because again inside that child, again a parent object is there. How to access that? Like super dot, we can't have any other thing, right? Let's do one thing. Super dot age. I'll say it gives error, right?
Mhm.
We can't have that multiple things. And self dot super, can I call like that? No, there is no self which has that super attribute, right? So super is the only thing we can access, and super dot age means it will have only one class above. To that memory only it will point it, right?
okay. Cannot the parent one.
Parent class object it's unable to point it.
Okay.
If I try to create some y equals to parent,
Y
and
dot
y
age.
dot age,
Okay. Yeah, this will work.
I just changed the names here. So we got the output, right?
Yeah.
If you need mandatory means you need to create a memory for parent separately, right? Then you are able to access it, or else you cannot. Just give me a second, I'm getting a call. Yeah, sorry for that. So what were we doing? The parent child and grandchild, if you want to access, you need to have the parent age object inside the grandchild, right? Then we are able to access it. Okay. So this is one particular thing.
So
Now,
instead of by equal to parent, we can decide z equal to child also, right? Instead of super, we can use that.
yeah, but again, a separate memory. So memory
Okay.
will be getting wasted, right?
Okay, yeah, got it. Yeah.
Here also an extra memory is coming. Even though if I have some another name, it would point it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's do one thing, x dot age I'm saying, and I'm trying to access super of x dot a x like dot x age. Okay, it's able to differentiate, right?
It's able to differentiate it.
Okay.
It's because that we have the same name, it's unable to differentiate. Correct?
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
So that's the reason we are able to create a memory and then access it again directly. Now, this is one scenario where we have used it, right? Sorry. So now let's see one more thing, like constructor wise. We have seen a constructor. What is constructor doing?
To initialize the variable.
To initialize the variable, we are using the constructor, right? How the constructor will get executed? How the constructor will get executed?
When object is created, then only it will be executed.
So when object is created, it get executed, right? Let's say I'm removing this and I'm writing a class parent. So parent consists of a class and it defines a constructor inside it. So init and self. What is that self? We have print age. Like I can write parent age is 54 directly, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm writing inside a constructor rather than writing inside a function. And class child as parent. So define a particular init self. Okay. And what I'm trying to print it here now. Child age is 22. So usually we create object only for the child, right?
Yes.
I created an object for child. So it's printing the child age only. What about the parent then? Already parent object is getting created and who is pointing to that?
Super.
Super.
So what I can do now, can I use super dot the constructor init? That's a constructor, right? So I got the parent age also. So when you are writing the parent class constructor and the child class constructor, you need to follow a scenario that when you create the child class object, you can call that super class constructor using the super, right?
Okay.
Is it clear? Now suppose if I write this, say in the second line, and try to execute the same thing. Child age is 22, parent age is 54. It's coming in the next thing, right? So here inside the method and any place we can use this particular super wherever I required that value. Okay. Now consider if there is a parameter. Parameter means what? We need to pass the value, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how to pass the value for child? It's 22. What about the parent then? If I don't pass, it will give error, right? Missing unrequired positional argument age in the super int line number 8, right? So here I'm passing 54 now. So I got child age is 22 and parent age is 54, right?
Mm-hmm.
So super is even used when you want to point to a constructor, right? If the variables are same, we are able to access it. And if the constructors are same, we are able to access it, right?
Yeah.
Is it clear till now?
So, but in real time, will we use means a constructor with the same name?
Constructor is only init, right? We cannot define any other name, only init only we can define it, right?
Yes, yes.
And if you consider car and Audi, if car requires a constructor, Audi and BMW also requires a constructor, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
So at
if
that
you have,
moment, yeah.
so if I have one more child class, so will I need to follow the same way?
No, you can't like call those things, right? Grandchild. Actually, multi-level won't be there. Hierarchical will be more. Because we have seen car, Audi and BMW. Car is a superclass and Audi and BMW are the child class, right? So mostly it's not multi-level, it's hierarchical inheritance. Like if you consider mobile, what will be there? iPhone is a mobile and OnePlus is a mobile, right?
Yes.
If you consider a laptop, again Dell is a laptop and Mac is a laptop, right? So in real-time scenario, you'll see only mostly hierarchical inheritance, right? If I say electronics, then electronics, laptop and Dell are the multi-level inheritance, correct?
Yes, yes.
So for this scenario, it's suitable for hierarchical because for subclass we can create the object and we can point it to the superclass, right? And every time it will be only one superclass and multiple subclasses, right? Understood.
I got it.
Let's do one thing. We'll write a class car and I have a cost. And I have a class already which extends car and I'll have the cost like Jeff is missing. So self is the right. Print Audi cost is some 50 lakhs. So A equals to Audi, A dot cost, A dot cost. We didn't got the output, right?
We did not. The same we
Two times Audi cost was there. What if I use super here and call that particular cost, what will happen? No cost and odd cost it's printing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can I use super here at this moment and call the cost? It's saying what? Super, no arguments, right? It's saying runtime error, super, no arguments. Let's say super that A. Again, it's saying one argument one must type be not oddie. So you can't use a super outside the classes, right? If you want to represent, you need to use it inside the class itself. Okay? Understood. Like I'll write before the class, let's see whether it works or not. Super. It's saying again what? Super has no arguments, right?
Yes.
So you have to write inside the method itself or the constructor itself. You cannot write it outside the method or constructor or outside the class. Is that understandable? Is it clear? How we can use super?
Yeah.
Any other doubts?
No, it's clear.
So we have a super thing which we can use, and self is also there, right? So next thing, we'll continue tomorrow. We'll see the abstraction inside the Python. Okay? How the abstraction can be used inside the Python. So that's it for today. We'll continue tomorrow. Okay?
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.